Hey, Lauren, welcome to the show. I'm so happy you're here.
Hi.
So why don't you start off, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so I am a full-time teacher. I also am in network marketing. So I run that little side business. And then I also teach people how to have, like organic growth on Instagram.
Amazing. Okay, so
Yeah,
I want to dive in all things Instagram with you today. So why don't
love
we
it.
start with why do you like Instagram so much?
Oh my gosh. Because I know you talk about Pinterest a lot and you're so right. Like I don't own my followers, but the great thing is that I can just like express who I am with like a video or a photo, and I know that my followers are going to get that. And I also think just it's my favorite way to show up authentically.
Hmm.
I'm all about authenticity. I think it's so icky to get that "hey girl" message from someone.
From a
And
million people.
yes, like someone I haven't spoken to since like fifth grade. She pushed me over on the playground. Like, girl, I don't, yeah. So, it's just like a great way to meet people as well. I'm really outgoing and I can't get enough of social interaction. So the more the merrier.
Very cool. So why don't you share
Yeah.
with us just some of your biggest keys to growth on Instagram?
Yeah. So number one, I know I hear people talk a lot of times about, oh my gosh, the algorithm has changed. Here's the thing, Instagram's free. And if any one person puts their eyeballs on whatever you have to say, it was free. You have to pay so much money to be on Google. You have to pay so much money, for ads and things like that, but it's literally free. And then you said the key. Sorry, I started
Yeah.
answering the question before.
Yeah, the key
I
to
think
growth.
consistency. I mean, that's just like the number one thing. So not only being consistent in your message and your brand and really like honing in on who you are and how you stick out in your market, but also like being consistent on showing up. And like if you say you're going to post a question and answer every Tuesday, then do that. If you are, just going to post photos, post one once a day. Um, you'll create a really great library of knowledge. And if you use things like your Instagram highlight, your stories, and your posts all together, it just it explodes. Like it explodes your reach, it explodes your market, and you turn all these cold leads into warm, personable, real people that you can actually then sell to or just connect with, whatever your goal is. It's amazing. So yeah,
So
consistency.
how many times should you upload a picture to your newsfeed per day?
Yeah, so if you are a business, I say you should have at least 10 to 15 posts a week. So
Okay.
that means, maybe some days you only post one, some days you post three. And yeah, like that just seems to not be spammy, but unfortunately the way Instagram is, if you don't have a post out there every 24 hours, your stuff's not being seen, because
Mhm.
they really stop showing your posts unless it goes viral or gets a ton of comments and things like that. They stop showing your posts after 24 to 48 hours,
I
even if someone's following you, like even if they've gone through and clicked the follow, right? Why you
That's
talk about
crazy.
Insta, or so you talk about email so often, right?
I know exactly. Building your email
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
What's the best time to post?
Oh goodness. Sorry, I was like halfway through drinking water. I don't know why I decided to drink then. Best time to post. Okay, so I think that you have to think about your ideal customer. So for me, I market to people who have really busy lives, work 9 to 5, and in my personal business, it's makeup. So they're going to be scrolling before work and then after. So before work is when I post things like time saving, things like that. So it definitely depends on your content, but anything that someone in your ideal market is going to want to open up their phone and see, you post it when you think they're going to open up their phone and see. I also have American and non-American customers. So if I'm posting throughout the day, I'm hitting people, in Australia or in a different time zone, if I'm posting throughout the day. And then like after work is when I post about things like, hey, is your makeup still on? Because mine is, that kind of thing. So it just depends on your ideal customer and when you think they would be on searching for what you provide, and then like your specific content.
Cool. How do you
Yeah.
get people to follow you? How do you build up your
Oh
account?
man, I love it. So honestly, it's pretty much the same for every single person, and it's just find your niche, provide insane value for them, and that's really half of it. The other half is showing up at the right time and posting at the right time. Um, like through your stories. Oh my gosh, stories are amazing. So, you post a story, right? You put a hashtag in it, and you can go to that hashtag and find other people who are following that and say, hey, I just went on my stories talking about this exact thing that you said you struggle with. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. Um, if that feels too spammy, you can go and find people who post those little question boxes, like give me recommendations and things like that. And then just give them value by telling them, because like your customer's telling you exactly what they want. They want a podcast recommendation, they want a makeup recommendation. So you're providing value. And then you stay in that person's mind as a person who provides what they need. Kind of
So
cool.
how do you find the people that are asking the questions? You're searching that by hashtags?
Um, like who's a person who asks a lot of questions.
Right.
No, that's just kind of trial and error. Find somebody who you think might be a customer of yours someday, or somebody who fits into your ideal customer avatar, and then follow them and check back on their stories. Tracking those people, if it's like a Google Doc, or if it's like a note in your phone or something like that, I usually find about 5 or 6 people per week that I'm going to kind of like target my reach to. So, if they're not a person who's posting a bunch of questions in their stories, you can also, oh my gosh, this is cool. So, how if you just like go to somebody and you just hit their DMs, it feels cold and weird and spammy. You can go watch any of their stories. Let's say they're talking about taking their kid to a park. I don't know. You go there and you can reply to their post. Down at the bottom, you just click message and you can respond to them. So even if their story goes away, they see what you responded to. So it's like if somebody posts a story, they're inviting you to let them be in your warm market. So it's not cold anymore, because you're not just like throwing darts out there saying, hey, I see that you did this. That's awesome. So like I had a lady who was taking her kids to the park, and she just like posted a cute little story about it. And I just said, like, I know where she lives. I like looked at her profile and I said, hey, I'm going to be where you are in a few weeks. What park was that? Did you like it? Was it kid friendly? Was it dog friendly? That kind of thing. And just organically, talking to somebody like you would if you saw them out in public, or encountered them, just having that normal conversation opens so many doors. That girl has followed me. She's since bought like makeup. It's amazing. Yeah.
Cool. So I know Gary Vaynerchuk talks about a lot about this, is like the magic
Mm-hmm.
happens in the direct message. So
Yeah.
what are some other ways that you're using Instagram direct message?
Oh man. If anybody comments on like my story or my feed, my goal is to get that to DM. So let's say I posted a photo, like I just posted a photo of me running, and I said, hey, how do you get over having a bad day? I go on a run. And if anybody comments below, I'm going to comment back and kind of like go surface and just, acknowledge their message. But if they said anything like a tip or a trick or something like that, I might message them back, because they already are seeing my content. So I didn't have to pay, I didn't have to pay, didn't have to find them. They found me. And I might say, like a more in-depth response that's not like surface level. Go deeper with it, ask another question. People love to tell you their experience. So if you get them to talk about themselves, that's key. Um, Also, so let's say you have an ideal customer and for whatever reason they would be following a Kardashian. You can go to their profile, look at somebody who's commented on a photo, or used a hashtag that you like. Like I would go to Kylie Jenner because she talks about lipstick. If somebody down in the comments says, I don't know how to get lipstick to stay on all day, I would DM that person and say, oh my gosh, I can't get lipstick to stay on all day either, that kind of thing. And I know this sounds like a whole nother full-time job, but just like 20 minutes a day, once a day if you can, twice a day if you can, 20 minutes a day is going to grow your account better than buying an ad on Instagram. It's just, if you're being genuine, if you're using the tool that I talk about all the time, like location tagging, hashtagging, and just really honing in on who your ideal customer is, Instagram will work for you regardless of the algorithm, regardless of any changes they make, 100%.
Do you do voice messages or video messages on Instagram?
I haven't. And that's just because most of the time I'm like running places and I just find it easier to type. I'm also, I think, way better with typing my words out than speaking, because sometimes, as you can probably hear, I get lost in my message when I'm talking because I get so excited. So,
I
yeah.
like the voice message feature. I think that's something that I use a lot. I've
Yeah.
actually booked a lot of people on the podcast. Like, so maybe I'll
Love
see
it.
them speaking. Like, I'm at an event and I saw like
Mm-hmm.
the founder of Seiko Designs. Like I saw her speak at Global Leadership Summit and I just sent her a message on Instagram and I was like, hey, I loved your talk. Would love to get you on my podcast. And just being
Yeah.
able to build that relationship. Like that's how we've gotten a lot of really good people on the podcast is
Yeah,
literally just
totally.
through Instagram DM, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Should you have a
When I
business?
think,
Oh, sorry. Go
oh,
ahead.
no, you're good. I think sometimes when I talk to people out loud, I don't know, it's not me, like I like this because I know you a little bit. And, yeah, but I mean, that's a huge reason I haven't started a podcast or anything. I just like, for me, what comes naturally and what's authentic for me is typing.
Cool.
And
I
a
pref-
lot of, yeah, a lot
I
of the people I help too are nervous to go live. Like, I don't have my makeup done and, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I mean, you could totally use the voice and video feature. That's amazing. And you can come across a lot more authentic, probably, via voice, because people can hear in your voice how excited you are or how genuinely curious you are. So absolutely super awesome.
I just do
Awesome
it
feature.
because I'm too lazy to type most of the time. And it's just easier to be totally honest.
Whatever works for you.
So, how often should you go live on Instagram?
Oh man. Okay. So I used to go live like once a week. My followers knew exactly when I was going live, and I would have people who, would put it in their schedules and come and watch me live. And I definitely think if you have a following that is going to show up and is used to that, if you train them to do that, you could do it once a week, twice a week. I don't know that live necessarily works for cold market.
Hmm.
So, if you've ever gone live on Instagram, it'll tell you, okay, we're now notifying all of your followers that you're going live, and it'll kind of like wait for somebody to come.
Yeah.
And I think if you're an Instagram newbie or you're just building, it can be kind of discouraging when you're talking to nobody.
Yeah.
Granted, it lives on your story for 24 hours. So if somebody, is a hardcore you fan, they might go and kind of like fast forward through some of the stuff and watch. And again, if you'd rather go live one time instead of posting that day, awesome. It just goes back to that consistency thing. Yeah.
So, talk to us about Instagram TV. Are you doing Instagram TV and how
Yeah.
often and how does that look like?
Yeah. So I actually used to have an account that had like more than 10,000 people. So I could get that swipe up feature and I could, give links and all that. And then life happened and I don't have the 10,000 anymore right now. I had to restart in like October. So you can swipe up no matter if you have 0 followers or 100 million followers, you can swipe up to your own Instagram TV videos.
Cool.
So if you have a signature product you talk all the time about, you can make an IGTV video giving info about it, talking to people about how to use it, whatever you want. And then you can just save that in your profile, have it on your profile. I love that Instagram has a little tile in your, on your account now where somebody can just click it and find it. They don't have to go to the IGTV app or anything. But anyways, so you can just have that there for people just to, take in your content when you're not live engaging with them. But then also if I go through and, in a month I talk about that product again, hey, I'm not going to bore you with all the details. I love it. Swipe up to find out why, or swipe up to get more info. So yeah. Oh, Instagram TV is amazing.
What happened to your account?
Yeah. So I had like 20,000 followers, and someone from I don't know where hacked into my account. They actually hacked like my Google email as well, but they hacked into my Instagram, and I went from like 20,000 to 0.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And I logged in, and it was like someone had posted their own stuff. They had tagged their own people. They were starting, I don't know why anyone would do this. It's so mean. But that's why you need an email list. Listen to Rachel when she tells you need an email list,
It's
because
so
that's
true.
yours.
Yeah, because you don't, I
Yeah.
mean, the same thing happened to my mom, and I got her set up with LastPass ever since.
Hmm.
Like, I'm like, you need to make sure you have secure passwords on all of your accounts, because
Yes.
like that can happen so easily to anybody. But also you need to have an email list because you own it, you control it. Like your
Yes.
account, literally, you found out like it could disappear overnight, and then you
Yeah.
have to start over with a brand new audience, basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie and say like every single one of the people that followed me, I knew and I had individually found, but it really stunk to lose contact with some of those people I had, literally worked for like a year to talk to and genuinely just like build a relationship with. Some of
Yeah.
them have since found me again because I got my old username back, and they'll go to tag me and be like, why are we not friends? And so that's been nice, but nowhere where it was, it's so sad. But I am authentically showing up, consistently showing up, and I am actively skyrocketing again.
There
It'll
you
be great.
go. There you
Yes.
go. You are
Yes.
resilient. I love it.
Yes.
Uh,
And it's taught me how to better help people when they're starting from ground zero, because that's where I am. Like, that's
totally. I
literally
mean,
where I am.
it's a really good lesson because you can say I did it before. I'm going to do it again, and let me show you
Yeah.
how.
Well, and I did it back before the algorithm changed and before I knew anything about tagging and hashtags and geotagging and all of that. Like, it was really easy my first time around, like way easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
talk to us about an Instagram bio. What are some things that you need to have in that bio?
Yeah. So if you go to YouTube and look up Jasmine Star's boss bio, that is like the best thing you can do. Jasmine Star is amazing on social media anyways, but in that she talks about making sure you are direct and to the point. A lot of times I see, people who ask for some help on Instagram, and the first thing I see is their bio is so beautifully written and so wordy, but you only have like 140 characters, under 50 characters. So, I mean, you have to use all that real estate and make it as juicy and specific as possible. So I worked with a photographer, and she said in her bio when I first met her, I preserve family memories on that special day. I was like, no, say I'm a photographer. Everybody knows what you mean. And if they don't know what you mean, you're confusing your audience.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So making sure that they have a really, really clear I help statement and a really clear, just this is who I am. This is what I do. And then making sure you have some sort of call to action to your link. Using that link is so important. You could have a link to a freebie that kind of rotates every week. If you have, a few PDFs and freebies, you could have a link to your website. You could have a link to like an Instagram class you're doing, just anything that you want your followers to see because it will give them insane value. Add that there and tell them to go to it. I mean, oh man, people on the internet are great, but sometimes they don't do things that you think would be logical. So you have to tell them.
For sure. For sure. And I always
Hmm.
say clear is better than clever. Oh,
Yes.
can you hear my dog?
Oh, hi
I'm
friend.
hiding in the closet for a reason. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Flashbacks to right before you went to France, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Another thing. So if your username doesn't have your name in it, so you can have a username, obviously, that's like the @ name, but then also you have a name, like an account name. That's searchable. So the only stuff that's searchable is your username, your @ name, and also your name on there. So if, let's say you're like me and you have it as @Lauren Como Media, people know my name's Lauren, that's fine. Under that though, you want to have an extremely direct description of what you do. So like, are you an Instagram expert? Are you a makeup salesperson? Are you an influencer? Whatever it is that you do, that's searchable. So if your cold lead customer is just searching for a makeup artist in Montana, make it Makeup Artist Montana or wherever you are. I don't know why it would be a makeup artist in Montana, but if you are one, go you.
There you go. All right, talk to us about your caption on Instagram. What are some things that you should have in that caption to get people to like take action or build a relationship with you?
Yeah, so I teach all of my customers like my little Instagram writing, like Instagram copywriting formula. So you start with a headline. I like to think of this kind of as like a scroll stopper or kind of like an email, subject line. You want it to be something that makes somebody push more, because Instagram only shows your viewers the first 3 lines of your copy. So if it's something really dense and bulky, they're not going to click learn more. So you want to make sure it speaks to like a pain point, something like that. Get your customer to click more. Then you're going to tell a story, whether it's a pain point or a personal story about your product or your service or somebody who works for you in your business, somebody you met, doesn't matter. Tell a personal story and then give a call to action. Should they tell you how they felt? Should they give you advice on what to do next time? Should they go take your class because they'll learn exactly more about what you're talking about? Should they click the link up in your bio to connect? Should they like so that they show that they understand what you're talking about? Should they comment, and what should they comment? I can't tell you how many times I go to somebody's, page and I'm trying to genuinely connect with this small business owner. I can see they put a ton of time into their post. And then I'm like, well, crap, if I didn't want to work for this client and didn't want them in my life, I don't know what to say to this cute picture of their dog that just says woof woof. Like, your dog's adorable. Yes. But give your cold market every single reason to interact with you and exactly how to, so that they do exactly how you want them to. Yeah. And it seems kind of like, well, duh, but
people don't do it.
No.
Totally.
No.
I like that. That's super helpful. What are some like apps that you're using or filters or that kind of thing?
Okay, so I really like to use Over for my business account. I think Over is a little bit more user-friendly for people who are just like not techie, don't know how to put text on a photo, a little bit more user-friendly than Canva. I also find that Canva is way easier on a computer, and I find a lot of times people don't want to be on a computer when they're Instagramming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would use Over if you're on your phone. I do know you have to pay for it, but it's been 100% worth it. I've made story graphics. I've made graphics for my feed. Beautiful. They have some built-in filters there. I've also used Lightroom, and I literally just went out and bought somebody's preset. I tried to play with it myself, and I don't know enough about photography to know how to make it that light, bright, airy look everybody wants. So I just went out and bought somebody's $10, preset bundle. It's worked. I love it. And I mean, my feed is way better now that again, back to that consistency point, now that I'm consistently using the exact same filter or 2, depending. Yeah. Canva, if you like it. I'm getting better at Canva, but I think Canva just has so much going for it. But again, you have to use a desktop computer to make it really effective, at least from what I don't know. Has that been your experience of it?
Yeah, mobile sucks. So
it's so hard.
What we have done, Canva, if you're listening, I love you, but
yes.
So what we do is we'll do a lot of stuff on Canva and then download it and upload it to Planoly on a desktop.
Yes.
And then it automatically publishes to Instagram.
Yes.
So that's kind of the workaround that we have.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. So a lot of times people are like, well, I want to do Instagram, but I'm on my computer. I just wish it was on my computer. It just lives in Planoly. So, from Planoly, just like you said, you can upload all of your photos and just post right there. And I think sometimes too, people are a bit more able to focus on how to write as a business person when they're typing versus when they're typing on their phone.
Yeah.
So I think if you really are trying to, sit down and just batch some content, just typing it out on your computer and Google Drive or something like that can be really helpful. And then also the hashtag capability that lives within Tailwind. I can't even, it's amazing. I don't understand how it's not more expensive than it is. Like, it's a game changer, especially if you're sitting there like, I've never used a hashtag in my life. Like, what do I do? Go to Tailwind and do
It's so funny that I use Tailwind all the time for Pinterest, but I've never actually used it for Instagram. And so now I'm so curious. You're like getting excited.
It's okay. It's like $8 or something. It's like a little add-on, but oh my gosh.
Worth
Okay.
it.
So this is the thing. When you go to Instagram, oh gosh, I'm getting excited now. I'm not even like, when you go to Instagram and you start typing your hashtag, let's say you wanted to tag red lipstick. I did that today. I start typing red and it comes up Cincinnati Reds, that kind of thing. Instagram, though, can only give you more suggestions of hashtags based on the exact letters you've typed in. So if you accidentally misspell something, it's gonna only be able to pull up whatever tags. Tailwind knows who I am. I truly don't understand. Whoever built that needs to talk to Instagram and be hired by them. So, let's say I wanted to talk about red lipstick. So I start typing in red lip. Tailwind will tell you, oh, do you want to talk about lip gloss? Do you want to talk about bright red, cherry red? They give you everything and things you just would never think of. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I did before it. And I just discovered it because of Activate. So
there you go. Tailwind is amazing.
Worth it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it. My dog is going to lose it. Oh my gosh. Hiding in the closet does not help. So I know you have a bazillion more things that you could share with us on Instagram, and you're hosting a workshop that's coming up. Can you tell us about that workshop?
Yeah, so it's either February 4th, 5th, or 6th at 7:00 p.m. to 7:30-ish Eastern Standard Time. And so you just go to www.instagramtip.com/class, and you can sign up for my class. And there I'll kind of go into a deeper dive, and it will also be worksheet friendly, and you'll actually be able to take something away from my class or webinar, just it's all the same thing. I will be talking to you. I will be telling you more of these things in a more succinct way, and not like I'm jumping off my seat excited because I get to talk about something else, but something I've actually planned. And then, let's be honest, at the end of it, I also have a course where I've taken everything I know about Instagram and I've put it in, I will teach you week by week. It's a 6-month thing. 6-month course, if you will, with me coaching you and helping you and looking at your posts and saying, hey, this would be a great hashtag for you, or, just tweaking things and just making your business that much better. So there's a bunch of different ways you can go about connecting with my message and actually being successful on Instagram without having to buy anything for Instagram, without having to buy an ad or buy followers or anything like that. And then also, if you're just all right, I don't need that Instagram course, I am good, you can just go to instagramtip.com and it'll tell you more about how to work with me.
Very cool. And where can we follow you on Instagram?
Yeah, so I'm at Lauren Como Media. Love it.
Easy peasy. Lauren, this has been so helpful, and I'm sure your class will be even more helpful diving into more strategies and all that stuff. It's going to be awesome. So excited. Any last words of wisdom for us?
Go outside your comfort zone. Do something you've never done to get a result you've never had. Whether it's going live a little bit more often, posting a selfie on Instagram instead of just posting text, or adding the up to 30 hashtags you get per post. Do something different. And if you don't know what to do, reach out to me.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Yeah.